From all indications, there were multiple shooters who fired dozens of shots, perhaps more than 50. Remarkably, all of those bullets missed a baby who was sitting in the car that was targeted.
February 4th, 2026, Chicago. A 13-month-old baby sits in the back seat of her mother's car. In the next 60 seconds, over 50 bullets will tear through that vehicle. The baby will survive every single one. Her mother won't. Make it make sense. When the clock strikes midnight, the truth comes out. I'm 12 a.m. crime, and every single day I bring you real cases of domestic violence that turn deadly. The stories the system tried to bury, the victims who deserve justice. If you're about that raw, unfiltered truth, hit subscribe. New case drops every day at midnight. Don't sleep on justice. This is 12 a.m. crime. Gabryel Ayres was 26 years old. She lived in Auburn Gresham on Chicago's South Side. She was a hairstylist, good with her hands, good with people. But that wasn't enough. She was also training to be a letter carrier. 2 hustles. That's what you do when you're a young mother trying to build something stable for your child. Her daughter had just turned 13 months old. Still a baby. Still completely dependent on her mama for everything. Gabrielle's godfather, Kirk Bell, would later say she was a beautiful young lady with a beautiful child. Not as a statistic. Not as another name on Chicago's growing list, as someone real, someone working, someone mothering. She had a boyfriend, 27 years old. On February 4th, he was in the car with her. We don't know where they were going. Grocery store maybe, visiting family, running errands with a toddler in tow. Normal life things. It was a Wednesday, middle of the week. The sources don't tell us about tension building. No threats, no warning signs, no ex showing up at her job. What we do know is this. Somebody wanted Gabryel Ayres dead. Not just dead, erased. And they didn't care who else was in that car when they did it. This wasn't random. You don't get 3 people with long guns, coordinate an attack in broad daylight, and fire over 50 rounds by accident. This was planned. This was intentional. This was personal. But the why? That's still sitting in a case file somewhere, unanswered. February 4th, 2026, 1:30 in the afternoon. Gabrielle is driving her white Chevy sedan through Auburn Gresham, 79th and May Street. St. Sabina Church is right around the corner. Their food pantry sits on that very corner. It's not a hidden street. It's the middle of the day on a residential block. Gabrielle's boyfriend is in the passenger seat. Her baby daughter is strapped into her car seat in the back. Then 3 men appear. They're on foot, and they're armed with long guns, rifles. Cell phone video captures what happens next. The 3 shooters run up to Gabrielle's car and open fire. They don't shout. They don't demand anything. They just shoot. Over and over and over. Gabrielle is hit multiple times. Her boyfriend takes a bullet to the buttocks. The baby is screaming in the back seat. But the shooters aren't done. A red car pulls up and stops directly in front of Gabrielle's white Chevy. The shooters get in, and from inside that red car, they start shooting. Again, more rounds. More bullets punching through metal and glass. Then they drive off. The whole thing takes about 60 seconds. Gabrielle's car crashes into a GMC van. The driver of that van is shaken but unhurt. Inside the white Chevy, chaos. Blood, broken glass, shell casings everywhere. Gabrielle is slumped over, barely conscious. Her boyfriend is wounded but alive. And in the back seat somehow, that 13-month-old baby is crying but completely unharmed. Let me tell you something. Over 50 bullets were fired into that car. 79 shell casings were recovered from the scene. The back window was blown out. The doors were riddled with holes. The seats were torn apart. That baby should not have survived. But she did. A witness coming home from work saw the shooting happen. He rushed over to help. That's when he heard the crying. He saw the infant in the back seat and immediately alerted the police. The people inside St. Sabina's food pantry heard the big gunfire. They hid in a back room while the shots rang out. When it stopped, they came outside. They saw Gabrielle and her boyfriend bleeding. They saw volunteers trying to get the baby out safely. A Chicago police officer arrived and took the baby in his arms. The infant was handed off quickly, placed into a squad car where a female officer held her. The baby was rushed to the hospital, not because she was injured, but because she needed to be somewhere safe, somewhere away from her mother's blood. Gabryel Ayres was transported to a nearby hospital in critical condition, multiple gunshot wounds. The doctors did what they could, but the damage was too severe. Gabrielle died at the hospital. Her boyfriend survived. He was treated for the gunshot wound to his buttocks and listed in good condition. The Chicago Police Department opened a homicide investigation immediately. Officers flooded the scene. They cordoned off the block. They started collecting evidence. 79 shell casings, scattered across the pavement like deadly confetti. Each one proof of just how committed these shooters were to ending Gabrielle's life. Investigators stayed at the scene well after nightfall. They photographed everything, talked to witnesses, knocked on doors. Father Michael Flager from St. Sabina Church was at the scene moments after the shooting.
It's a miracle that that baby was not shot. It's a miracle,
he said. He was right. When you look at the car, when you see the damage, when you count the rounds fired, there's no logical explanation for how that child survived. Father Flager also said somebody needs to be held accountable. He mentioned cameras on buildings in the area. Good cameras. I just want them caught, he said. Kirk Bell, Gabrielle's godfather, was devastated.
The purpose of shooting at a car when you know there's a child in the car. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
He said. He also said,
it could be a lot of other people who's lost their life here today.
He was talking about the baby, about the boyfriend, about anyone walking down that street. 50+ bullets don't care about intended targets. Kirk described Gabrielle.
This here is unbelievable. This young lady was a beautiful young lady with a beautiful child, and life just cut short. For what?
He asked. Detectives reviewed the cell phone footage. They could see the shooters clearly. 3 men, long guns, a red car. They had faces. They had movements. They had evidence. But identifying them and catching them are two different things.
This happened in the middle of the afternoon on a busy stretch of 79th Street in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. A witness who we spoke with says he was coming home from work when he saw this shooting. He went to go help those victims who had been shot. That's when he heard and saw an infant crying in the back seat. Somehow that baby uninjured in all of this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
A child believed to be less than 1 year old is whisked away by a Chicago police officer Wednesday afternoon after somehow surviving this. We muted the sound, but cell phone video shows at least 3 people with guns run up and fire dozens of shots into a white car. The shooters then get into a red car, stop in front of the white car, and begin shooting again, then drive away, all while a child was helpless inside that vehicle.
Do we have an officer ride with the 1-year-old to the hospital?
Thank God that baby is so young that probably won't remember this day, but that baby's going to know that their mother was killed today. That baby could have been killed.
A 26-year-old woman inside the white car was shot several times and later died. A 27-year-old was also shot but expected to survive.
They all had long guns. You know, it's just crazy.
The shooting happened at 79th Street in May around 1:30, just steps from Father Flager St. Sabina Church. He was at the scene moments after the shots were fired.
And somebody needs to be held accountable. And if anybody knows who did that, I think we got some really good shots off the cameras on the buildings over there. They just want them caught.
And after the shooting, that white car crashed into a van. The driver of that van was also uninjured. So far, no arrests have been made. We're live from Chicago Police Headquarters. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Chicago. Joe and Erica.
Charlie, thank you.
There is no arrest to report. Not yet, anyway. As of the latest updates, no one has been taken into custody for Gabryel Ayres' murder. The Chicago Police Department has not announced any suspects. In cases like this, where there's video evidence and dozens of witnesses, you'd think arrests would come quickly. But it doesn't always work that way. People don't talk. People are afraid. The case sits, waiting, hoping someone will come forward. But waiting doesn't bring her back. Gabryel Ayres was 26 years old when she died. She left behind a daughter who will grow up without her mother. That baby will never remember her mama's voice, her laugh, the way she rocked her to sleep. People are calling it a miracle. But miracles don't undo trauma. That baby lost her mother. The community is angry. Kirk Bell said it best.
They need to clean this city up. They need to. This gangs and the shooting and the killing is just unbelievable.
Gabrielle was trying to break the cycle, working 2 jobs, raising her daughter, doing everything right, and it didn't matter. 3 men with long guns decided her life was worth less than whatever point they were trying to make. The Chicago Police Department is still investigating, still hoping someone will talk. But hope doesn't solve cases. So Gabrielle's family waits. They figure out who's going to raise that baby girl. They try to make sense of something that will never make sense. That little girl will grow up knowing her mother's name, knowing her mother loved her enough to hustle for a better life. But she won't know her mother's touch because 3 men with rifles took that away from her. February 4th, 2026. 79th and May Street. Gabryel Ayres, 26 years old. Mother. Gone, but not forgotten. Rest in peace, Gabryel Ayres. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We tell the stories that need to be heard. Until next time, stay safe.